Welcome one, and welcome all. We are here for the finals of the Pokemon trading card game Oceania International Championship. It is Azul Garcia Grego, Azul GG himself. He likes to say GG to his opponents when he smacks them in the face, versus Reagan Retzloff, who is a former senior. Therefore, he is just somehow good, because apparently all the former seniors like to just come into the finals of big tournaments all the time. It's kind of annoying when you've never been able to play in senior or junior divisions. You never got a chance to get good. You are just here commentating because you can't play well. No, I'm kidding. I'm okay. We have Azul's list of accomplishments here. He has more than can be shown on this list. However, they are showing some of his best finishes. NAIC Champion 2022, LAIC Finalist 2017, 2017 OCIC Top 8, and 2016 Orlando Regional Champion. Whew, that's quite a bit. Reagan Retzloff, 2023 Orlando Regional Top 8, 2022 NAIC Finalist, 2019 Senior NAIC Finalist, and 2017 Junior NAIC Champion. This little boy has done pretty great at a whole bunch of NAICs. We see Azul already marking his little digital Ultimate Guard notepad. That thing is pretty great. I know my friends were just talking about in the group chat trying to get one. I know one of my friends has it, paid like 25 bucks for it. I think that's a little overpriced in my personal opinion, although I do love Ultimate Guard products. I think Dragon Shields are a little bit better of sleeves, although I do love Ultimate Guard sleeves. And unfortunately, I guess the Amazon listing is like for $50, so the other friend who wants to buy one is not willing to put up the $50 for that little digital notepad, which I do think is quite ridiculous. We do see the worst judge on the planet. Will Post is on here. Not this one. That's not Will Post. The other guy that's sitting on the other side. One of the worst judges in the game will give you a slow play penalty for scooping to go to the next game to save time, and then do it to your friend the next round, and then get demoted to side events. I know I've said that a few times on these commentaries already, but that is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. We have a Drapion in the prizes for Azul. Pretty good, since he does not want this in this matchup. Azul, as we know, is playing Lost Box with the Zeraora tech. The Zeraora with a Choice Belt does one-shot a Lugia VStar, and then Reagan is playing Lugia. So we will have to see if Azul's tech of the Zeraora really does come in clutch and is able to win the game for him, or if Reagan is just able to outpower him with the sheer willpower, the sheer force that is Lugia VStar and Archeops. Azul immediately benches the Zeraora and slaps a Crapture Energy. I almost said that would... You know, when I try to say graham cracker, I have to really enunciate it, because if I don't think really hard about it, I'll say graham crapper. Fun fact. I apologize. But we are seeing that capture energy going down on the Zeraora. We are going to check our prize cards. We're going to get a Radiant Greninja. We were assuming it was either going to be that or another Comfey immediately. We will see if maybe Azul gets a Battle VIP Pass turn 1. Again, Lost Box generally only needs to play one Battle VIP Pass to get fully set up. If he just already has another Comfey in hand, he doesn't even need to play Battle VIP Pass. And then he can play things like Oranguru to put dead Battle VIP Passes in later turns to the top of his deck. Azul, I believe, has been on stream all 3 days of this tournament. Therefore, he gets to go home with an additional 3 Play Pokemon shirts. Again, I know he collects those. That is one of his most fun things to do. I wish I could do that. I don't necessarily want to be on stream. Like, I think it would be fun to be on stream, but I just want to have a giant collection of Play Pokemon shirts like he does. Like, that just seems fun. But anyways, we do get the benching of the Comfey. We even get the Manaphy down as well. That will stop the Raikou Amazing Rare from being able to take 2 prize cards at the same time. Very important to note that Zeraora should be putting even more work in than normal against this matchup, because Reagan does not play Dunsparce. He decided he did not need the Dunsparce. I have said this time and time again when Reagan has been on stream. I believe this is his 3rd time that we have seen him during these matches. Reagan not having the Dunsparce may be his downfall in this match because that Zeraora is just so powerful. However, I have been testing against Azul's deck, and while my playgroup may not be as powerful as Azul's playgroup, I do have to say that I think I, like, 4-2'd against Azul's deck in individual games without the Dunsparce. I was playing a list very similar to Reagan's. However, I do believe that the Dunsparce is definitely warranted going into Knoxville because of the popularity of Azul's build. I'm assuming that a lot of people will just straight up net deck him. He is one of the most popular players in the game, so a lot of people who don't know how to make deck lists for themselves will just pick up his deck and hope it does well. Of course, Lost Box is what I would call the most skill-intensive deck in the format currently, so it really takes a good player to be able to play any variation of Lost Box to a good finish. Especially Azul's version. Azul's version is a little bit techy, and it is a little less straightforward to play than something like the Charizard version, where you can just slap down a Charizard on a certain turn and win the game because of it. We do see the Evolution Incense is coming out. We are just getting the Lugia VStar. I am not sure exactly what is going on with that. Normally we want to Evolution Incense for some Archeops and then discard them with like an Ultra Ball or Quick Ball. Looks like we are going to be able to put the deck on the correct side of the board because Reagan is right-handed. We are going to read the wind, discarding an Archeops. Maybe he just wanted to play that Evolution Incense to check his prize cards. That is a potential reason to do that. You wouldn't want to wait an additional turn. What if you get Marnied and then you don't have access to a card that allows you to see your deck? So Azul is going to use Flower Selecting. He is going to put a Comfey in the Lost Zone because he already has 2 in rotation. Does not need a 3rd in play. Would rather leave that bench spot open for something a little bit better. Is going to Quick Ball away Cramorant. He says, I do not need that right now. I think that I would have better attacker in Zeraora. The Zeraora will be able to one-shot this active Lugia as well. Good thing Reagan was able to get 2 Lugia V into play on the first turn, knowing that that Zeraora is there. We do get Azul searching for the Oranguru. We will be able to do some monkey stuff during this game. Monkey times, be primating. He is the prime ape, if you know what I mean. He is going to monkey that top card of the deck. And then Chorus's Experiment. I bet you that was a card he doesn't need that he is going to Lost Zone. If he is going to Chorus's Experiment after putting that on top. Either that or he was really looking to dig for a Chorus's Experiment and he did top deck it off of that Oranguru. I think that's more likely. I think he got the Chorus's Experiment off the Oranguru. Is going to Lost Zone another Chorus's Experiment using the Chorus's Experiment. That shows Reagan that Azul's hand is pretty poggers, for lack of a better term. We are going to switch cart into the Zeraora, and we are going to do 30 plus 80 because your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon V, thus 110. Times 2 for Lugia V's weakness is 220. That is an exact knockout. If that was a Lugia V-Star, all that Azul would need in addition is a choice belt. The belt that is a choice. Fun fact, in the video games, the choice items will greatly increase one of your Pokemon stats, but it will hinder the Pokemon in the way that it can only perform one move. So normally Pokemon in the video game have 4 different moves to select, but the first one you select in a battle, it will have to continuously use that one the entire time it's in, thus making it predictable so the opponent can play around it. You can reset that effect by switching the Pokemon out and then back in, but that takes a couple of turns to do. In this game, it's just a lot better. Choice item is just a lot better in my opinion. We are going to Luminion for the Marnie. We know Azul's hand is strong if he Lost Zoned a Chorus's Experiment. So you want all those good cards on the bottom of the deck. That is 2 Chorus's Experiments down. That means it is highly unlikely that off these 4 cards, Azul is going to see another one. So you are hoping that Azul just bricks right off of this. You have 2 Archeops in the discard pile. You're going to go for the Lugia VStar Summoning Star to put those Stage 2 colorless Pokemon directly into play, completely cheating them. You do not have to use Unidentified Fossil into Arcan into Archeops with this deck. And we do see the Marnie being played as well. We will have to see. Reagan will likely knock out this Zeraora this turn, but Azul is only 3 cards away in the Lost Zone from being able to play Mirage Gate. There is a world where Azul does get Chorus's Experiment off the top here. He is able to use Comfey and Chorus's Experiment to go 7 cards deep into the Lost Zone, build up a big hand again, Ordinary Rod the Zeraora and the Lightning Energy back in, Mirage Gate to it, and then take another knockout with a Choice Belt on it, knocking out that Lugia VStar, taking an additional 2 prize cards, and steamrolling the whole game from there. Looks like we are actually going to put down the Stoutland, and we are going to use double Primal Turbo with the Archeops. We're actually going in for 2 powerful colorless energies, or 3 powerful colorless energies onto the Stoutland. Excuse me, I thought one of them was an Aurora, but actually they are all 3 powerful colorless energies. That Stoutland is attacking for exactly 100 damage now. That is enough to knock out the Zeraora and also take 2 prize cards. He will now also have a Pokemon active that is not weak to Lightning. So Reagan, very skillfully playing around that, was able to attach a double turbo from hand to the Lugia V-Star so that he could go for that play. And that shows the exact power of the Stoutland. It can quite literally come out of nowhere, lightning fast, and kick Azul right in his butt with the double dip fangs. We do see the Ordinary Rod from Azul being contemplated. I'm telling you that there was a world where Azul was able to just recycle that Zeraora and do the exact same turn again, taking another 2 prize cards. Looks like we are not shuffling in any energies. We're just recycling Cramorant and Zeraora for now. I think it would be fine to attack with Cramorant this turn. You would have to devote yet another powerful colorless energy to Stoutland, and if that last one is in the prize cards, Stoutland cannot knock it out without attaching a final energy and using the opposite attack instead for 200, doing 30 to itself, and then it would only take 1 prize card. You have to use double dip fangs for 40 in order to take the 2 prize cards, and of course the powerful colorless energies is what boosts the damage of double dip fangs. The other day, I was mispronouncing double dip fangs a lot. I was saying something a lot less kosher, if you know what I mean. Kind of in the same way that I say graham crapper. I'm saying double, and then a 4-letter word that starts with DI, and then fangs. Trying to keep it as family friendly as possible on this video, though. So we have the Comfey is going to do some flower selecting after this Chorus's Experiment. Again, I am calling everything that Azul was going to do. Playing a Chorus's Experiment, using a Comfey. That's 7 cards in the Lost Zone. The Zeraora was already put back into the deck. If that Lugia V-Star was still active, there was a world where Zeraora comes down with a Choice Belt and gets a Mirage Gate. You scoop up the Comfey and then knock out Lugia for 2 prize cards. But that Stoutland is there. He is strong. He is thick. He is good boy. He loves belly rubs. He is there protecting Reagan. Taking them hits for him. And dishing the damage with those double dip fangs. We now have another Battle VIP pass in the Lost Zone there. We definitely do not want those in hand or in deck. Much better use out of it in the Lost Zone. We are going to use a Capture Energy on our active Pokemon that will allow Comfey to retreat. We will also be able to search our deck for another Pokemon. We might go for the Zeraora so that we can start setting it up for a future Lugia, but even more importantly, we are going to go for the Cramorant that is the best attacker against the Stoutland. We are just going to hope that Reagan does not have another powerful colorless energy to put on the Stoutland to be able to take the knockout on Cramorant for another 2 prize cards, putting Reagan at a total of 4 taken down to 2 prize cards, blowing Azul out of the water. So we are going to use the training court that is in play now. We are going to... Oh no, I guess we are considering to grab the Psychic Energy, but we're going to wait for a second. Unless he's already used his training court and he's realizing he already did. And he is going to spit, not so innocently, all over the Stoutland. Again, look at Cramorant's face above my head. Does that look like an innocent bird to you? I do not think so. So we do see it looks like we are going for the Primal Turbo, immediately going into Reagan's turn here. Stoutland has 100 HP left, so even a Zeraora will be able to finish off the Stoutland, or we could get another Cramorant. So the question really is just, is there another powerful colorless energy to go onto Stoutland in order to take this Cramorant knockout? Or if we can get a boss's orders, looks like we might be going for that. We could always knock out the Manaphy with the Stoutland or one of the Comfeys. Looks like we are looking at the prize cards. There is the last powerful colorless energy in the prize cards, so we are going to have to go for the boss's orders. Looks like Reagan does go for the Manaphy. He identifies that there is the possibility that he can attack with the Raikou on the next turn, and then he would be able to take 2 prize cards and win the whole match. So we are going to get the full mileage out of Stoutland, taking 4 prize cards with our 2 prizer. Azul will tie it up on the next turn with the next Cramorant here. Since that Cramorant is still alive, potentially knocking out that Stoutland V. But then Reagan is just setting up the Raikou away from winning the game. So we are going to promote Comfey, because of course we are. Why wouldn't we promote Comfey? It is good boy. KO indeed. We have 8 cards in the Lost Zone in total. We are 2 away from attacking with Sableye, but we are not in a position to where Sableye really helps us out. I do believe there's also 1 Sableye in the Lost Zone anyway. We are going to Ordinary Rod Manaphy back in. Azul knows I need this Manaphy. That Raikou is incoming. That is Reagan's out to win the game. So if I can make sure that I have the Manaphy yet again, maybe I can get it off of this flower selecting, or maybe I can get my final available Colress's Experiment. Or is it? Is it the last one? Yeah, I think it would be the last one. He's used 2 and Lost Zone 1, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, there's 1 in the Lost Zone. So will we be able to dig the Manaphy back out of the deck? He always could just use Capture Energy if he's able to get that off of the flower selecting. That is another out. There is also Quick Ball in this deck. I believe it's only 2 copies of Quick Ball. I know he's already used at least 1. You know, I still can't get over the how many Play Pokemon shirt Azul has thing. Like, his entire wardrobe can just be Play Pokemon shirts. I wouldn't be surprised if he owns more Play Pokemon shirts than I own shirts, period. That'd be hilarious. It's like, welcome to my house. You want to see my shirt drawer? Just opens it up. It's all Play Pokemon shirts. That would be a really proud accomplishment, honestly. Looks like we are using Mirage Gate. We are deciding which energies we want to put where. We are putting one on the Comfey so that we can retreat with it at some point. Looks like we are just failing to find on the other one. Looks like that is all that we need to do with this Mirage Gate. Yeah, I think you don't want to waste another one. I don't think you're going to be able to attack with Radiant Greninja during this match. You can't go for that play where you can knock out both the Archeops in 2 turns with 2 attacks using the Radiant Greninja and the Sableye during this game, just because Reagan has gone so aggressive with the Stoutland. You need to deal with it now. Reagan's just taken too many prize cards. You need to be a little more ahead in order to do that. Looks like we are going to get the Air Balloon to switch into this other Comfey with the Psychic Energy on it. So it looks like maybe that isn't necessarily the way that you want to use that Comfey, because now you have to potentially use Scoop Up Net and then you just waste that Psychic Energy that you just put on it with the Mirage Gate. It feels like a waste of using the Mirage Gate, but it does thin your deck of a card so you can potentially get to where you want to. Looks like Azul shook his head a little bit. He's not exactly where he wants to be. Looks like he is about to use Orangaru's Monkey Powers to Primate Wisdom a card to the top of the deck, switching it with the top card. Or maybe not. We're still deciding what we want to put there. Looks like Mirage Gate is going to be the choice. Not sure what we drew. Can't really... it's not on screen. Is it the Manaphy? I know he is digging really hard to find that Manaphy. He does have it. He did get the Manaphy. I think you have to put that down and just attack with the Cramorant. Oh, he has Escape Rope as his way to move Pokemon, though. That's not what you want to see. Reagan still has the powerful Colorless Energy prized. I do believe it may be his last prize. It might be the next prize, based on how it's laid out. Yep, looks like the Escape Rope is being played. We already used Chorus's Experiment this turn, so we can't play Boss's Orders to bring the Stoutland back up. So this is really unfortunate. If Reagan just has another Boss's Orders, he can just win the game, taking all 6 prize cards in 3 attacks with the Stoutland. We are going to Escape Rope yet again. He's going to see if Reagan wants to promote something different. You probably don't want to put Archeops out. Looks like he is going to go with the Stoutland. I'm not quite sure I agree with that. I think I would put Luminion with the V-Guard energy out, because then you can attack with that. Or you can just retreat into the Stoutland and then use the Stoutland for more prize cards. Yeah, I think I would have gone with the Luminion, personally. Looks like we are going to Energy Recycler. Azul's turn is taking very long. Looks like we are deciding we are going to put 1 Psychic. Nope, we are going to put 1 Lightning back in, and that's it? Okay. Yeah, Azul's... I mean... Well, I'm not really sure what Azul is necessarily going for. I mean, Reagan fed him the Stoutland back again, so... I think that was a misplay. I think that the Stoutland provides too much benefit. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter at this point, but I still would conserve the Stoutland. I would just let Azul take prizes if I can get around that. Yeah, and see, he is just promoting the Luminion now. So I do believe, yeah, that's definitely a misplay from Reagan. I would have just promoted that Luminion, and then Aqua return it back to the deck, and then all that damage goes away. Then you can promote the other Luminion. What else is Azul going to do? Just attack with yet another Cramorant? I mean, he could set up the Vikavolt and then knock you out, and then that's fine. You still have the Stoutland. Or you still, I mean, either way, you still have all of your Pokemon in play that can just take another knockout. Looks like first Archeops is going to put 2 Auroras onto the active. He is trying to use the second Archeops to just put more energy onto the active. I still don't understand why people go for that play where they just over-attach a whole bunch of energy to their active Luminion and then shuffle it back in. Like, what is the point of using a Primal Turbo that you don't have to do and just wasting that time on the clock and putting it on the same guy? Yeah, so we are going to put that on the Lugia. That makes much more sense. I mean, we now have a fully powered Lugia VStar because it does already have a double turbo energy on it. We are going to Ultra Ball. We're just going to thin our hand and deck. Looks like we do have a Pumpkaboo. We could bench that just to discard the Training Court, limit Azul's options a little bit more. I do think that this is Reagan's game to win, even though I do believe that that was a misplay, not promoting the Luminion off of the second escape rope. I think he promoted correctly on the first one to put up the Lugia V-Star. It has the most HP. But off of the second one, it made more sense for the Luminion to come in. Looks like we are going to play a Marnie. That will put Azul at only 4 cards remaining. Reagan will have a fresh 5 and shuffle those energies back into his deck along with the Luminion. I think here you can promote either the Pumpkaboo or I guess the Archeops is fine because you are at 1 prize card remaining. If he doesn't knock out your Archeops, you can always just attack with it. If he does knock out your Archeops, as long as you have 1 energy in your hand, you can just charge it up and attack. You can even just charge 1 to the Archeops to retreat and then attack with the Lugia for game. So Azul is just playing it out because why not? You still have 50 minutes left. Is there any other way out of it, though? Looks like Reagan has 1 in the Lost Zone, it says. I don't even see a Lost Zone. Yeah, okay, they just took that off. What can Azul do here? I legitimately just don't know. I mean, he's still playing, so he probably knows if there is a type of out in his deck left. I think what he is going for is a knockout on the Lugia to take the last 2 prize cards. That's exactly what he's going for. There is a boss's orders, so now he just needs Zeraora and Mirage Gate. Yep, there it is. Yeah, that is why he did not scoop. He has the Choice Belt in hand, I am sure. There it is. Or, no, even the Luminion is fine. You don't even need to show the Choice Belt. You get the knockout on the other Luminion. And that is it. That is the game there. Azul was able to pull that out of what seemingly... I forgot that he had 2 prize cards left. So all of a sudden, right at the end, I realized exactly what he was going for. Again, it was that Zeraora. He still had access to that because he did shuffle that back into his deck with an Ordinary Rod right at the beginning of the game, right after he got that first knockout with it, when it was knocked out by the first double dip Fangs. And yeah, Azul realized that there was still an out for him, and that is why you don't scoop when you still have an out. But yeah, I did not see that at first, and that is really good of Azul. That goes to show you exactly how good of a player is. He knows exactly what was left in his deck, what his options were. He knows he has 2 prize cards left. There is 1 2-prize Pokemon, or there are 2 2-prize Pokemon on the board for Reagan. If he can just get the combo of Mirage Gate, Zeraora and Boss's orders, he wins the game. And he was able to get there off of his Comfey. If he was not able to get it, then he probably would have just scooped and gone to the next game. So that was an absolutely fantastic game. That was extremely close. It goes to show the tools that Lugia does have to beat Lost Box, but also that this variation of Lost Box just can win. The thing, again, I think that the reason why Reagan lost that game is because he does not play Dunsparce in his deck. And going into Knoxville, a lot of people will be playing this deck by Azul, whether they are skilled enough to play it or not. So you might as well just play the Dunsparce in your deck in order to make sure you do not lose to an attack like that one that came right in at the end of that game. If Reagan was able to play the Dunsparce, if he did not have that second Luminion in play, if maybe he was able to attack with one coming out of the gate, I don't think that it necessarily mattered too much, the Dunsparce, but if he was able to get it down right at the beginning, that first, Lugia would not have been knocked out in one hit. And Azul would have had to take an entirely different route to win the game. But yeah, it did not matter at the end because he knocked out the Luminion. And that one does not have its weakness negated by Dunsparce. Reagan is going first. He is going to Quick Ball for a Lugia. He starts the Stoutland. Azul starts the Comfey. That is the ideal starter for Azul. However, if Reagan is able to get his turn 2 Lugia VStar with 2 Archeops in the discard pile, he will be able to double dip Fangs and take the first 2 prize cards of the game off of a 1 prize Pokemon. Just shows the absolute power of Stoutland. There is a fun deck that I do not think is quite as good, but I do think is a lot more interesting, which is the Greedent VMAX version. It has pros in the fact that it is a lot better against Lost Box, in the fact that you can take 3 prize cards off of a Comfey instead of 2. But it is a lot worse against some other matchups like the Lugia Mirror, where the Greedent VMAX can get one-shot by an Eviltal. So you do have to play things like Big Parasol if you are going to be playing Greedent VMAX, and that just clunks up your deck a bit more. Plus it is a 1/1 line. You can't just bench it out of nowhere like you can with the Stoutland. So yes, it does take 1 more prize card, but it just has a lot less utility overall. But Greedent VMAX is a greedy boy, and he is hungry. He is chonky, and he is powerful. So Azul is using his first flower selecting. He is seeing a Cramorant and a Heavy Ball. He does not know what is in his prize cards yet, but by taking the Heavy Ball, yes, he has to get rid of the Cramorant. He will still have 1 left available to him. If it is prized, he'll just take it off of the prize cards now, and he will have perfect information. He can write this down on his little digital ultimate guard notepad that he has here. This is the ideal way that you want to start the game if you are playing Lost Box, is getting that Heavy Ball so you know all your prize cards, so you know which energies you have available, which ones you do not. So Azul writes down all of his prize card. And he is now shuffling it up. Alright, so we have 2 Psychic Energies, a Capture Energy. So that might matter, those Psychic Energies. He is going to Quick Ball away a Drapion. He is going to get the Radiant Greninja. As always, you want a couple Comfeys and a Radiant Greninja in play for maximum consistency with the Lost Box decks. We are going to bench the Radiant Greninja. We are going to discard the Water Energy to draw 2 cards. And Chorus's Experiment. Alright, we are off to the races now. Azul will be able to dig 5 deep and put 2 more in his Lost Zone. We will be 1 away from being able to attack with a Cramorant this turn. Just a little unfortunate we did have to Lost Zone 1 early, but there should still be 1 available to him. That will be the perfect attacker against the Stoutland, because if Reagan does want to one-shot the Cramorant with the Stoutland, he does have to provide 4 powerful colorless energies in order to do that, and it will be onto a damaged Stoutland. So Reagan starting the Stoutlands is actually pretty bad if Azul is able to get off the Cramorant attack. And if he can't, as long as he gets 7 in the Lost Zone, he could just do the same thing with Zeraora, because it can hit 110, but you would have to Mirage Gate to it. So we do get the next Comfey with the Capture Energy. We are going to be going in yet again with the Flower Selecting. We do see Boss and Mirage Gate. Boss is going to be selected. Azul's still thinking. Looks like he is going to choose the Boss. I think that that is correct. There is that damaged Pip die yet again. They need to replace that dice set. We do see the other Cramorant and the Zeraora get benched. We are going to switch into the Cramorant, and that is exactly what Azul wants. He is going to damage the Stoutland right out of the gate. We are going to attach a powerful colorless energy for a turn, and we are going to research. Hopefully we don't draw into any other powerful colorless energies so that we can get the full value of this Stoutland off, but we will have to devote so many powerful colorless energies to it. Oh, that is such a mouthful. Powerful colorless energy. We do get the Lugia VStar. Do we have the Archeops in the discard pile to be able to use the Summoning Star? Oh, Reagan shakes his head. I don't think he has a single one yet. No, he has 1. He is going to have to go for the 1 Archeops, and that is not good, especially against this deck. It's really bad getting just the 1, because Azul can easily pick that thing apart. If he is able to get the Zeraora attack, he will be able to just boss up the Archeops and take that out, and then you will not be able to power up any more Pokemon for the rest of the game. Oh, yeah. And then Reagan, since he only has the 1 Archeops, is not able to put 3 powerful colorless energies from deck to this Stoutland. So he will have to attack with Stoutland's second attack, Wild Tackle, for 200 damage and do 30 to itself, softening itself up even more. That damage should not matter. However, it might, because if you put 30 more on you, you're at 140. That is a remaining... math. 70 HP. If Azul is able to Mirage Gate to Radiant Greninja, he can knock out Stoutland while putting 90 on Archeops, and then you can start getting closer to Sableye, finishing off the Archeops while also stacking damage onto something else. That Archeops is in grave danger now. I think Azul is definitely going to be trying to attack with Radiant Greninja this turn, if possible. Just needs to get to 7 in the Lost Zone. If he has another Chorus's Experiment, he will be able to get there. He does use the first Flower Selecting, going to 5 in the Lost Zone now. We are going to have to see, does he have the Chorus's Experiment? He's already used 1. I don't believe he prized any. He does have it in hand. He is going to 7 cards in the Lost Zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off the top of the deck. We do get Manaphy as well. We are going to banish that Battle VIP pass to the Shadow Realm. We now have 7 total. We have Mirage Gate in hand. We have the Manaphy to block the Raikou from ever being a factor in this game. And this is Azul's game to win now. I don't think that there is any world in which Reagan can pull this back at this point. Of course, he could always get a really good Marnie on Azul, and then Azul just bricks. But at this point, I don't think that we are there. Do we have... We do have Dragonite. That is an interesting attacker. We don't have any energies in hand is the problem. We need a water energy in hand, or we need 2 Mirage Gates so that we can attack with Greninja. Yep, looks like... Nope, we're going to go for the Zeraora attack instead. I think because maybe he doesn't have the water energy, that's not really the best option for him right now. Plus, he might be looking forward to the future turn and saying, if I expend all of these resources on the Radiant Greninja, I may not be able to attack on the next turn since I have to discard 2 energy. And plus, the Lugia can get powered up off of 1 Archeops if it's just a couple of double turbos. One of them has already been used, though. But Reagan does have a energy in hand. So we are going to see the Zeraora come up, and it will be attacking with whatever it's called attack. Oh, Fighting Lightning is what it's called. 30 plus 80, since the opponent's active is a V or GX. A card from Vivid Voltage. The art looks really good when it's in its holo. It looks like Azul has a reverse holo, so it doesn't look quite as good. Unfortunately. We are seeing the Evo Incense. Looks like Reagan can get into another Archeops now, but unfortunately he's already used his Summoning Star. Well, that's cool. They even have covers that say Oceania on the seats. That's really cool. So we are getting that Archeops, probably just to discard it. We are going to use the Primal Turbo. We do need to attach couple energies to this Lugia VStar. One of them will have to be a double turbo energy so we can get the full powered up Lugia. Yeah, he's deciding whether he wants the V-Guard energy or not. I definitely think you should, because just remember, Azul is actually playing Dragonite. I know that it may not... we may not have seen Azul play or any of the Lost Box Dragonites actually attack with Dragonite during any of their games during this tournament. However, it's there. It is there, and it can come out in one-shot this. Looks like we are benching another Lugia V. We are going to also play the Marnie. Yes, that will greatly disrupt Azul's hand. We do have the Speed Lightning energy we are attaching from hand first. We are going to play that Marnie. Azul's going to go down to just 4 cards in hand. Intense battle music right now. It's a legendary kitty theme from Gold and Silver remix. Alright, so we do see the Lugia attack knocking out the Zeraora in 1 hit, and we will have to see, can Azul take out the Lugia? He's going to want to be attacking with that Lugia V-Star, or that Zeraora yet again onto the Lugia V-Star. So we will see if he is able to get the Ordinary Rod Quick Ball or Ordinary Rod Capture Energy to get that back into play with another Mirage Gate. Looks like that is a Mirage Gate from the top of the deck. He is going to Lost Zone Mr. Monkey Man to get the Mirage Gate. Azul is playing with his hand a little bit faster now. I think he may have some of the tools that he needs. It looks like he has a Chorus's Experiment as well. He will be able to go in full to the 10 cards in the Lost Zone. And we will see if this will be enough to banish Reagan to the Shadow Realm. Azul's got a decision here. I do know I see a Sableye. He's probably going to want to keep that. Looks like he's going to Lost Zone Snorlax and Scoop Up Net. That's probably fine. I don't think you want to use Snorlax at this point in this matchup. It's better for the Stoutland if you have the Choice Belt. That way you can one-shot that. And that window of opportunity has since passed. So we can actually attack with Sableye this turn. We do have the Sableye. We can attach the Psychic Energy potentially. Looks like we are benching double Sableye. Scooping up the Comfey. Looks like we are just double checking to make sure that we do indeed have 10 before we look stupid. And we are going to, there we go, attach that Psychic Energy, and we will be using Lost Mine Now, there is a question of where you want to put this damage. I would say probably not worth knocking out the Archeops at this point. It would have been great if you were able to get that Radiant Greninja the last time. But it looks like he's going to put at least some down on the Archeops, and then he's going to spread the rest down onto one or both of these Lugias, just to soften them up a little bit more. He might be making it a little easier for Zeraora math on a future turn. So he is putting 6 on the active and 3 on the benched Lugia. So that is 190 left on benched Lugia. That is 220 left on the active. So yes, the active is within Zeraora range. The Archeops is also within another Sableye range as well. So I think that's the perfect way to put the damage counters from that Sableye. A little unfortunate you're not taking prize cards this turn. Reagan is actually going to go ahead on prize cards, but Azul definitely knows what he is doing. He is able to set up the damage perfectly, knows that his win condition is definitely Zeraora. And again, since Reagan does not have that Dunsparce, he cannot prevent the Zeraora from just taking one-shots. We are going to see that Primal Turbo. Again, very unfortunate. We only have one Archeops in this game. Sometimes it is fine to play with just one Archeops. Sometimes you can beat Lost Box with no Archeops if you just hard attach Powerful Colorless Energy and they brick a lot. Looks like we are thinking about the Powerful Colorless Energies. We are putting them to the Lugia on the bench. Maybe in case that Dragonite comes down, he wants to be able to one-shot that. I don't think there's anything that Powerful Colorless Energy can really do besides work on the Lugia. I don't think attacking with the Archeops will really get him that far anyway. The Stoutland is already down as well. Lugia does not play any Pokemon recovery cards, so we will not be able to reutilize that Stoutland again. I think that it would be good to have maybe something like an Ordinary Rod to recycle Pokemon. However, the fact that you can't recycle the Powerful Colorless Energies as well makes it, like, not worth playing. You really only get the maximum use out of one Stoutland, generally. If we also had Special Charge, that would be awesome. If we had, like, an Ordinary Rod that could get back Special Energies, ooh. Oh my god, that would be broken. So it looks like we are going to boss up the Radiant Greninja. We are going to be taking that out. We are also going to attach an Aurora Energy for turn. We are going to discard, looks like, Pumpkaboo. Looks like we are retreating the Lugia VStar. We can attack with the Lugia V instead, but unless we have another VStar to evolve into, I don't know how I feel about that. We can hit for 130. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so really not quite sure why we retreat there. Because now we have a 190 HP Lugia instead of a 220 HP Lugia. I mean, I guess you'd rather the Lugia V-Star not get knocked out by the Zeraora. I don't know. I don't think either leaving up the V-Star or promoting the Lugia V instead, I don't think either play really matters in this position. I don't think either of them gets you any farther into this game. You are ahead on prizes, Reagan, but we will have to see. Azul can put the pieces to this puzzle together. Again, Zeraora, Mirage Gate. He is using yet another Colress's experiment. Azul is not whiffing at all, even off of things like Marnie. He knows that he is too powerful. He is too strong. He has the power of the GGs behind him. He does draw into a Mirage Gate off of this Chorus's experiment. We just need to see that Zeraora. Here is the Ordinary Rod. He is going to be able to put back at least a Lightning and the Zeraora. We do see a Water and the Radiant Greninja as well. Fantastic choices there. Looks like he is choosing double Lightning instead. I think he knows that there is more than just... because he only plays 2 Lightning. I've seen his deck list. So he's thinking, well, do I Mirage Gate the Lightning Water? Or do I put double Lightning back in, knowing that I still have maybe another color of energy left in case I, like, Comfey into one of them? So I don't know if either way was necessarily right or wrong. You definitely need at least 1 Lightning in the deck. But I did see a tweet from Azul that said he made like 490 something thousand misplays during the tournament, which is obviously a fake number and an over exaggeration. But I think this might be the type of thing that he's referring to, is putting double Lightning back versus Lightning Water, and it probably not mattering, but it could have. And honestly, I am not skilled enough, particularly with Lost Box, to tell you which one would have been the more correct choice. I'm also not the one playing the game, so Azul likely has a lot more knowledge of what is left in his deck than I do, seeing from the outside. We do Lost Zone a Water that was just put from the top of the deck. So, again, maybe it matters. I don't know. We are going to use Scoop Up Net potentially. We are digging for that Zeraora, I'm sure. That's such a hard name to say, Zeraora. We are going to Lost Zone Battle VIP Pass as well. Obviously, a great card to Lost Zone because it is just bad if it's not turn 1. Benching Comfey yet again. We are going to use Escape Rope as well. Perfectly fine. You don't really care what you're knocking out this turn, honestly. I mean, you'd prefer the 2-prizers, but if you play Escape Rope yet again, you'll force another 2-prizer back up and attack with Zeraora anyway, so. We are going to Capture Energy. That is the way to get into the Zeraora should we choose to attack with that. However, now that the Archeops is active, we may be going for just the Sableye attack instead. We still have the Sableye with the Psychic Energy. Although, I don't know if I would necessarily knock out the Archeops. I mean, you don't want it active. Like, I don't know. It's so weird. This is a weird position to be in. So we are going to be capturing the Zeraora back. It looks like it was the bottom card of the deck. Unless he just moved it. He probably just moved it to the bottom there. So, Lost Zone is 15 now. That's quite a few cards. We are going to Air Balloon our Capture Energied Comfey. And we are going to be attacking with Sableye this turn. We don't have quite exactly what we need because that Archeops is now up. The Escape Rope was a little unfortunate. But it looks like we are just stacking the last 12 damage counters we need to knock out the Archeops onto it and taking a prize card. We now only need 3 more prize cards to win, but there are only 2 prize Pokemon in play for Reagan, so that knockout does not necessarily matter. However, at least you know that there will always be a Lugia V in the active position, whether it be the VStar or the other V. Looks like we are going to go in with the regular Lugia V. I think we need to move some of those dice off the play area because it's getting a little annoying being where it is. I don't think we really need to keep track of the Lost Zone count anymore for Azul, so we might as well just move those die off to the side, and that one with the 3 there from the Archeops should just not be on the Aurora Energy. But that's just me nitpicking. We are going to Ultra Ball. Looks like we may be going for a Luminion V. That is an even easier one-shot with something like a Zeraora. Azul has the Manaphy in play, so Reagan can't go for the Raikou, but of course he extra can't go for the Raikou because there are no RPFs in play. So Reagan has to take his last 3 prize cards just with these 2 Lugia Vs. Can he do it? Can he find a way? Also important to note, if Reagan can pull this game back, they only have 22 minutes left. These 2 games have taken a very, very long time, especially the second game. And it feels like Azul has been picking Reagan apart. I do know for a fact that Reagan, the entire night before this finals, he had Sam Chen build Azul's list, and they just practiced all night so that Reagan could have the best chances against Azul as possible. That's exactly what you want to do when you have a group of great friends and great players all together. You want to be able to try to replicate the other finalists' list in order to see if you can get as much practice against that as possible and learn how to beat it inside and out. So we do have the Lost Vacuum. We'll Lost Zone the Air Balloon. We're going to have a ton of cards in the Lost Zone now. We are at 16. And again, not sure really what Reagan can do here. Looks like we are going to go for the Marnie, putting Boss on the bottom of the deck. I don't know. I think I would have liked to see the Boss to knock out Zeraora instead. Yeah, I think that I would have bossed up the Zeraora and knocked it out. I would have left Azul with that big hand and just removed the threat entirely. Because now, not only did you not knock out the Zeraora, but that boss is on the bottom of the deck. I guess he is reshuffling the deck now. But, I mean, what's the likelihood you're going to redraw into that boss, right? We are going to evolve into another VStar. Now we have 2 fully powered V-Stars available. Well, no, the benched one is still 2 energy short, but that's because he retreated it earlier for a reason that I don't quite understand. And I think he is going for the knockout now. Again, should still move that 3 die. Oh, thank you, Azul. Oh, Azul knows. So, Reagan has 2 prize cards remaining. He just needs 2 more attacks to win the game, which means Azul has to not Mirage Gate 2 more turns. I think that there is a world where Reagan comes back. I think that there is a possibility that Azul just can't win this game. He has been struggling to find a way to reuse this Zeraora again. In the previous game, he was able to use it as his first and last attack of the game, but here he is trying to use it in more of the mid-game and just not being able to find the exact pieces to put it together. But he is still flawlessly playing to his outs with the Sableye, trying to manipulate how the damage is placed on the field so that he is going to need less cards in order to take knockouts. He now no longer needs choice belts. Looks like we are going to Energy Recycler. That will allow those Mirage Gates to have plenty of energy targets in deck. We do have 2 Water Energies. We also have a Psychic and Lightning. I do think you have to put that Lightning back in. You do have 1 in your Lost Zone. If you want to attack with Zeraora at all, that Lightning Energy needs to go back in. I guess we're not going to do that unless we have another Training Court or something, but I believe the Training Court is already gone. Yeah, the new Energy Recycler does say shuffle up to 5, not full 5. I believe it was a full 5 previously, so you can choose just 2 if you want to. We're already at an hour in. These matches are pretty long. All right, we are using... for a second, I thought he just Comfeyed for 3 cards, but no, he Bird Keepered into the Comfey to draw 3 cards. Got a little scared for a second. We do have the ability to use Flower Selecting now. We all are able to Lost Zone one of the top 2 cards of the deck and take the other one. Looks like we do have a Psychic Energy and another Mirage Gate. So we may Lost Zone the Psychic. Azul will know if he has the energy in deck to play the Mirage Gate. I think what he may be setting up is Dragonite. He might be trying to go for the Dragonite. He can take the knockout on the active with that, and then he wouldn't be able to be knocked out in return by any of Reagan's Pokemon, and he would be able to take all his prize cards with just Dragonite. And that way, if he were to... yeah, because if he were to just set up Zeraora, he would be able to take 2 prize cards, but then that next Lugia can come up and just take the knockout on it again if there is another double turbo. But I do believe Reagan is out of double turbos. He had one on this Lugia that's currently on the bench before that he retreated off of it. He also had one on that Stoutland when he attacked with it earlier. Because he did have to attack with the 200 damage attack, I believe. Azul has 2 cards left in deck. I am still confused as to Azul's exact line, but he knows what he's going for. We will find it out together, folks. I think he does have the Dragonite in hand. He has an Ordinary Rod as well. He could always put that Lightning Energy back in now. He has the Choice Belt that is essentially no longer necessary. Yeah, this Lugia VStar that's active has exactly 250 remaining HP. And then the one that's on the bench has the V-Guard energy. So it effectively has 250 HP. It looks like Azul passes. Azul does, if Azul is actually setting up the Dragonite play, he does need a bench spot to put it down. So he might be allowing something to be sacrificed so he can charge up. Yeah, I think Reagan needs to attach an energy for turn to his bench in order to have a chance to win. I think Reagan can win this game, but he needs to attach an energy to his bench Pokemon. And Azul needs to not have Dragonite go off. Yeah, I don't actually know, because Reagan doesn't need to attach to his bench, right? Oh my god, chestnut checkers, guys. Come on now. This is a crazy game. So, it looks like we are quick balling for an Evoltal. We will likely just be getting it out of the deck. We want to thin, make sure we can get into our outs. We know that there is still a Boss's Orders in the deck, so Reagan knows that he needs to be able to draw into that if he can, or at least into his other Luminion that should still be in there, hopefully. And it looks like he may be going for a Marnie as well. That's going to really set Azul back, because I believe he had everything he needed in hand. He just needed a bench spot. Yeah, and the Dragonite has 230 HP. So yeah, even if Lugia on the bench gets fully powered up, it can only hit 220. Unless there is another powerful colorless energy on it. But I don't know if Reagan has any left. I think he put 2 on the there's 2 on the active Lugia, and there was 1 on the Stoutland. So there might be 1 left. This is a, yeah, again, this is a really... My brain hurts. Imagine playing, like, 2 entire, like... Let's see, 5, 6, 7. Imagine playing 9 rounds, and then 7 rounds, and then on the third day have to play this match. My brain would be melted. My brain would actually legitimately liquefy. I mean, I could probably do the 2 days, but I don't know if I'd be able to get the third day down. I've definitely done the 2 days before, but only 5 rounds day 2, because of course I missed top 8. We are going to Mirage Gate to the Zeraora. That's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the Dragonite. We did not get there because of the Marnie, it looks like. We may still have an option to get to another attacker on the next turn, but yeah, Azul can take 2 prize cards now. But now Reagan can just, well, Reagan can't even attack. So since Azul is able to attack with that Zeraora and Reagan missed the energy for the Lugia on the previous turn, there is now no out. Reagan will have to find something beefy that he can bench, that Zeraora cannot one-shot, and that can't be knocked out by Sableye either, because those are both ways that Azul can attack, while Reagan attaches an energy, and then he'll have to Bird Keeper the Luminion into the Lugia the next turn, and oh god. How many energies are even left in his deck? There is a Luminion there. I mean, Reagan could always try to boss something up to stall. Wait for Azul to potentially deck out if he's out of energy. There is only about 10 to 11 minutes left. 10 and a half minutes here. And Azul is 1-0. If this game somehow doesn't finish in these next 10 minutes, it will be Azul's game. They are tied on prize cards. I think this game will finish, and we might get into an interesting scenario where if Reagan wins this game, we might go into sudden death. Well, I think we would have enough time to not necessarily do sudden death, but... So sudden death rules in Top Cut, I believe, don't quote me on it, but I believe... if time is called and they're 1-1, shuffling up for the third game, it's whoever takes the first prize card wins the match. I think. But I'm not sure. I mean, I'm running out of things to talk about this match. Looks like we are retreating with the powerful colorless energy, using boss's orders to bring up Manaphy, hoping that it can't retreat. Looks like we draw Scoop Up Net. We have Sableye, we Scoop Up Net. We are able to knock out the Oranguru for the last prize card, and Azul is able to win the finals of the Oceania International Pokemon Trading Card Game Championships 2-0. Azul, the man, the myth, the legend, the all-powerful. I hope you guys enjoyed this match because this match was insane. Do not forget, only 10% of you right now are subscribed to the channel. If you want to see more matches like this, if you want to see more Pokemon Trading Card Game content and other gaming things as well, make sure you are subscribed so it shows up in your feed. Do not forget to feed the hungry YouTube algorithm by hitting that like button, by commenting, whatever you want down below. And we will see you guys next time for the Knoxville Regional Championships, which I will be playing in. Hopefully I can do a tournament report. Hopefully I do well, because if I don't do a tournament report, it's because I did bad. I'm gonna try to vlog, but I make no promises. It's hard to vlog because sometimes something interesting happens and it's like, well, crap, I didn't have my phone out. And then there's other times where I have my phone out and I'm like, well, that was just boring. I'm gonna have to cut all of that. So it's a whole big thing. But yeah, that was amazing. Some of these games in this tournament were actually like nail biters and really interesting. So I hope I see more like this in the future, and I hope you are there for it. I will see you guys then.